Then you have suffered a great deal?" she said. "Terribly. Should I, without that, have accepted the horror of living by your side, and the still greater horror of feeling and knowing that there is one among them whom I cannot recognize, and who prevents me from loving the others?" "Then you have really suffered very much?" she repeated. And he replied in a constrained and sorrowful voice, "Yes, for do I not tell you every day that it is intolerable torture to me? Should I have remained in that house, near you and them, if I did not love them? Ah, you have behaved abominably toward me. All the affection of my heart I have bestowed upon my children, and that you know. I am for them a father of the olden time, as I was for you a husband of one of the families of old, for by instinct I've remained a natural man, a man of former days. Yes, I will confess it, you have made me terribly jealous, because you are a woman of another race, of another soul, with other requirements. Oh, I shall never forget the things you said to me. But from that day I troubled myself no more about you. I did not kill you, because then I should have had no means on earth of ever discovering which of your children is not mine. I have waited, but I have suffered more than you would believe, for I can no longer venture to love them, except perhaps the two eldest. I no longer venture to look at them, to call them to me, to kiss them. I cannot take them on my knee without asking myself, can it be this one? I have been correct in my behavior toward you for 6 years, and even kind and complacent. Tell me the truth, and I swear that I will do nothing unkind." He thought, in spite of the darkness of the carriage, that he could perceive that she was moved, and, feeling certain that she was going to speak at last, he said, "I beg you, I beseech you to tell me," he said. "I have been more guilty than you think, perhaps," she replied, "but I could no longer endure that life of continual motherhood, and I had only one means of driving you from me. I lied before God, and I lied with my hand raised to my children's head, for I never have wronged you." He seized her arm in the darkness, and squeezing it as he had done on that terrible day of their drive in the Bois de Boulogne, he stammered, "Is that true?" "It is true." But, wild with grief, he said with a groan, "I shall have fresh doubts that will never end. When did you lie? The last time or now? How am I to believe you at present? How can one believe a woman after that? I shall never again know what I am to think. I would rather you had said to me, 'It is Jacques or it is Jean.'" The carriage drove into the courtyard of the house, and when it had drawn up in front of the steps, the Count alighted first, as usual, and offered his wife his arm to mount the stairs. As soon as they reached the first floor, he said, "May I speak to you for a few moments longer?" And she replied, "I am quite willing." They went into a small drawing room, and a footman, in some surprise, lighted the wax candles. As soon as he had left the room and they were alone, the Count continued, "How am I to know the truth? I have begged you 1,000 times to speak, but you have remained dumb, impenetrable, inflexible, inexorable, and now today you tell me that you have been lying. For 6 years you have actually allowed me to believe such a thing. No, you are lying now. I do not know why, but out of pity for me, perhaps." She replied in a sincere and convincing manner, "If I had not done so, I should have had 4 more children in the last 6 years." "Can a mother speak like that?" "Oh," she replied, "I do not feel that I am the mother of children who never have been born. It is enough for me to be the mother of those that I have, and to love them with all my heart. I am a woman of the civilized world, monsieur. We all are, and we are no longer, and we refuse to be, mere females to restock the earth." She got up, but he seized her hands. "Only one word, Gabrielle. Tell me the truth." "I have just told you. I never have dishonored you." He looked her full in the face, and how beautiful she was with her gray eyes like the cold sky. In her dark hair sparkled the diamond coronet like a radiance. He suddenly felt by a kind of intuition, that this grand creature was not merely a being destined to perpetuate the race, but the strange and mysterious product of all our complicated desires, which have been accumulating in us for centuries, but which have been turned aside from their primitive and divine object, and have wandered after a mystic, imperfectly perceived, and intangible beauty. There are some women like that, who blossom only for our dreams, adorned with every poetical attribute of civilization, with that ideal luxury, coquetry, and aesthetic charm which surround woman, a living statue that brightens our life. Her husband remained standing before her, stupefied at his tardy and obscure discovery, confusedly hitting on the cause of his former jealousy, and understanding it all very imperfectly. And at last said, "I believe you, for I feel at this moment that you are not lying, and before I really thought that you were." She put out her hand to him. "We are friends, then?" He took her hand and kissed it and replied, "We are friends." "Thank you, Gabrielle." Then he went out, still looking at her, and surprised that she was still so beautiful, and feeling a strange emotion arising in him. End of Useless Beauty by Guy de Maupassant.